Welcome to the Temple of Flame. On today, Faithful Acolytes, we take a look at this. And what this is from Bai Xiang, it is the hot chili chicken flavor stir-fried noodles. And yes, we see somebody else trying to get into the act with another mascot, with fire, with the what is probably going to be, it's also a whole lot. They're trying to cover every base here. Another stab. This is very clearly not Korean, but another stab of that style of noodle. Let us see. Where is Bai Xiang is made in China? Can we see where in China? We have Xinjiang City and the Shanxi province. Interesting. So the Shanxi noodles are a sort of specific style of noodle, from my understanding. And that was I did another video called Hot Sauce Noodles that also referenced the Shanxi style of noodle, as it were. Oh man, I hate this. Oh, I hate this. This is just the shittiest way of printing directions. Man, this is bad. Okay, we're just gonna see, we're actually not gonna do it that way. That's annoying. I feel that among the different things that China doesn't quite place the same importance on is, in addition to, intellectual property rights and stuff, is, put that over there, is labeling. Because this is just, this is like trying to think up the worst way of doing something and then just doing that. Man. Okay, so why do I need do I need the address of the company on every single one of these? No, I don't. Let's look at the instructions here briefly. Boil the water, cook for 4 minutes. So, okay, so the usual stuff. So some of the time, I get people whining that I don't follow the directions to the letter in the videos. So I'll speak on that very briefly. I'm telling you what I'm doing. And I try to keep the same method for everything. So when I look at the instructions, it is not for me to understand how they want it prepared. It is to understand if I'm able to use my method, my normal standardization. Because I approach this from a scientific perspective. I want the baseline of what I'm doing to be as universal as possible across these products. So when I say I'm going to put it in this bowl, okay, I'm going to put it in that bowl, I'm going to cook it for 4 minutes and let it sit for 5, which is the exact same thing I've been doing since the yakisoba trays. So I've been doing this literally 4 years. I'm telling you what I'm doing. I'm reading this. This is what they say to do, and then I'm telling you what I'm doing, and the results that you can see are with that method, and then you can decide for yourself, do you want to follow my lead, or do you want to just strictly adhere to the packaging directions? But don't send me comments on that, because I don't care, and most of the time I'm going to delete them if I think they're dumb and don't contribute anything. So, that aside, we are getting hellacious glare here. That's wonderful. Let's see if I can find a way to actually, okay, yeah, that'll work right there. So really, I don't really go through these like I do with hot sauces. What I'm looking for is the sauce. Okay. Oh, there's edible essence. Where is the chili powder, onion, which is probably powder? Where is I am not. So it's powder. So I don't see an actual extract, which is extremely odd to me. Flakes. Oh, wait. So what's the seasoning here? All right. This doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Is there more than one packet, maybe? Oh, these noodles are quite brittle. This is interesting. Okay. And I don't leave them all solid. Like I do stuff. I do these noodles the way I like doing the noodles, right? The way I want to eat them. And that's what you're buying in for, right? Is by seeing what I'm doing. Does it match what you do? Maybe. If not, then you can try it this way or you can try it your own way. Oh, these noodles. These noodles are excellent, even dry. Another thing I do, I try the noodles dry just to see how they go. Most of the time, they're boring. These are actually flavored. So we got, there's a seasoning pack. All right, we're gonna see what's in. So this is the sauce. We have sauce, we have a seasoning and vegetable pack. So what is, okay, I'm gonna see what's in the vegetable pack. I would assume this is furikake maybe, but let's find out. Yeah, this is just straight furikake. So we'll throw that in. Throw that in later. Okay. Seasoning pack. Let's see what's in this. All right. Seasoning pack is, that looks like some sugar and stuff. So we will throw that in as well. So when we come back, we will have this. Yeah, this is going to work, I think, pretty well. It's going to cook these really fast, though, so I might actually cut down the cook time slightly on these because these noodles are very thin. 4 minutes might be a bit too much. I think I'm going to go probably 3 or 3.5 minutes, actually, on these. And let them sit for 5, and when we come back, then we will stir in the sauce because the other stuff will be already in there because it's already open. So, yeah, let's do that. We'll be back here once that process is concluded. You know what's interesting? I'll tell you what's interesting. I'll tell you what's interesting. You know what's interesting? I'll tell you what's interesting. These noodles by themselves, without anything in them, smell pretty good. So I'm going to do something I almost never do. I'm just going to try the cooked noodles. They've got a really, it almost reminds me of a Chinese market sort of flavor to them. I quite like these noodles by themselves. I will say this, that I would put these noodles, just the noodles themselves, so far flavor-wise, among the best ramen noodles I've ever had. They're quite good. I really like what they've done here. Okay, so let's throw in the flavoring. Okay, and then we're also going to throw in the sauce. What do I do with the sauce packet? Maybe I'll try it like, well, you know what? This isn't going to be it. Let's just throw the sauce. It's all kind of jammed together here. Definitely not like the sort of bulldog gochujang stuff that this is. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're not trying to imitate that as much as I think they are. Very possible. I mean, the packaging seems like it is. And I bought it because I suspected that was the case, but oh man, this packet's pain. Yeah, this sucks. All right, come on, get out of there. Why is it so thick? Has a very interesting odor to it. Oh, look at that. Kind of over my gloves. Well, 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 well. Let us get some of that. Okay, so I will say this. I don't know what the flavor is going to be like, but I don't like that part. I wish it was relatively clean and smooth like the gochujang. But you know, this is cool. You know, I don't have any objection with China wanting to get into the act as well. Everybody's spicy noodle Korea, so on and so forth. If they want to step in and have a very distinctly Chinese version of that, you know, it helps us all, especially all us foodies. Because I don't know about you, where you fall on that spectrum, but I say hell yes. Japan, for their part, has not seen fit to really dive into that. Nor do I honestly think they probably will. But Korea, Taiwan, maybe China. I mean, this is from China itself, so we'll see what we have here. Look at the texture of these noodles. These are just, I really like these noodles. They remind me a bit of angel hair, so all to the good so far. Let's just, now we have to just see what the flavor's like. Let's get into that. Wow. Oh, that is delicious. Well, that bite was. This didn't mix up very evenly, though, because then I got a whole bunch of bitter right after that. Half of that bite was delicious. I don't like the way that sauce is orchestrated. Maybe what I'll do, because I really don't like it, is well, we're gonna do this. We're gonna throw some furikake on it. This is the chili version, which I keep on hand for just such. Well, actually, I just love this stuff. This is one of my favorite things. Keep this on hand. Absolute delight. But what I think I might do is I think I might head to the Korean market, see if I can't find some of that bottled bulldog. That sauce is really unpleasant. I think the packet is fine of the sugary, whatever it is. Obviously, the furikake is fine, but man, that. I am not digging the. It's got a very spice powdery sort of flavor to it. There's hardly any heat in this. And I feel like if you're going to start doing this stuff on the packaging and trying to make appeal to the hot Korean stuff. Oh, there's some. Now I'm getting. The sauce being that thick, sludgy stuff is not helping. I really like these noodles. These are among my favorite noodles. The flavor is Not one I like. I'm getting a bit of heat though. We'll call it a very low legit one. I think I shouldn't have drained it. I think that was my mistake. I should not have drained noodles. I know it says to do that. I feel like that was, obviously there's nothing there. I feel like that was my big mistake. Because that sludgy stuff would have dissolved better. Once it gets all integrated and you don't get the chunks of that icky flavor, the flavor started to get better towards the end. Partially though because of this. And as long as I have that around, that will be helpful with these noodles. There's probably enough heat. I don't think I'm going to get the actual Bulldog bottle. You can buy just the sauce. Just the Bulldog sauce in these little bottles that Samyang nicely puts out there. Okay, so what do we think of these? I love the noodle texture. I do. The noodle texture is just phenomenal. Like, these are just outstanding. Even plain without being softened with the water, they were still just fantastic. So really just really good noodle base. The flavor, however, I would say don't drain the noodles. or just be careful not to drain all of it. I guess maybe that's it. The sludgy packet, I almost feel like I should have boiled it with that packet. I feel like I should have just let it sit in the packet and the water. I feel like that would have been a better, and I've got 4 more packs of this, so I'm going to play around with it a little bit. I think that would have come out better. Once it's integrated, it's not a bad flavor. It is, I would say, much more of a Chinese flavored version of that, though. It is very distinctive in its own right there. So I overall, I'm going to say it's pretty solid. This is one of the lesser expensive versions of that sort of phenomena. So if you don't really love the texture of the ramen noodles that come in like the Samyangs or the bull ramens, this one, or, you know, and you're not a big fan of tteokbokki and you want something thinner, again, these are easily my favorite noodle texture from any of the ramens I've had on this channel. Except for that, I think there was like 1 or 2 other ones. Maybe the Snapdragon I liked a lot as well. And I wish they would do something different with the flavor base, for sure, because it's like it's almost like clay. It's very thick. Moving away from that into something easier to stir in, I would prefer, but even though I got, you know, the concentrated chunks were not good flavored. Those did not taste good at all. Once I got it integrated, though, this I actually found to be quite enjoyable. So good on you, Bai Xiang. You guys are definitely, I would say this is probably in the top 4th of any of the noodles I've had. So yeah, I'm not. What's interesting is I never heard of the Shanzi type of noodles, and sorry if I'm butchering the pronunciation, but I never heard of those prior to doing this FOH video series, this content on the YouTubes, and just really exploring that whole spicy noodles thing. And I'm actually grateful to come across stuff like that I never would have encountered otherwise. That is part of the beauty, the part and parcel, my favorite part of being a food explorer. The chili head thing is its own element to that, to be sure. But to me, the food explorer part, the foodie part, is just so much more a phenomenal part. And it really, I think in a lot of respects is sort of, the joy of experimentalism and perhaps even of life itself. And we'll just leave it right there. So that was the Bai Xiang, sorry for butchering that, hot chili chicken flavor stir fry noodles. Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.